Hello, guys. I am Heather. I am a widowed woman and have a daughter out of wedlock. Please don't judge me. My daughter is one of the best things to happen to me, along with my husband. My husband and I started to date when we were in college, the classic high school sweethearts. By then, I already had my daughter, who was my whole world. My husband accepted my daughter very easily and eventually adopted her as his own. My daughter's father was never in the picture, so it wasn't an issue. My daughter absolutely loved my husband and called him dad. We had a beautiful family before a drunk driver took my husband from me. I still miss him every day. After my husband passed, my relationship with my mother-in-law, Lena, and sister-in-law, Cherry, became worse. They were never nice to me and were always trying to demean me. But my husband stood up for me and put them in their place fairly easily. Since my husband paid for a lot of their stuff, they tried to act civil with me so that he wouldn't get mad. But as soon as he was gone, their mask slipped and they started being nasty to me. The only reason I didn't cut them off was because they were my connection to my husband. Also, they treated my daughter well, and she had developed a good relationship with them as well. I had always swallowed my pride for these very reasons. Now, let's talk about what made me cut them off for good. Cherry had gotten engaged to her fiancé a little over a year before my husband passed. Her wedding was 6 months after my husband's funeral. It was supposed to be a grand wedding, and we had been excited about it. While we were all grieving, the wedding still happened because canceling it would have resulted in a huge financial loss. I was all fine with it because I was never a part of planning the wedding, so no one disturbed me about it. But things started to unravel when Cherry and Lena sat me down one day to say, you know what? I found the perfect dress for the wedding. Oh, really, Cherry? That is great. Congratulations on that. Getting a dress can be very difficult, especially with such short notice. I know that, Heather. I offered to pay extra above the cost of alterations so that they would speed up the process. They agreed. Thank God. Ooh, that's good. I am sure the dress will be beautiful. Anything would look good on you. She did look beautiful in it. It was literally the only dress that we all liked. I don't think anything can beat it, but I am a little worried about the dress being ready on time. It will be fine since you have ordered it right away. When did you put in the order? I haven't put in the order yet. Crinky, I have been meaning to talk to you about it. I was immediately a little uncomfortable and confused when Cherry said that. I was not included in any part of the wedding and was never told about any details. When she started to talk about the wedding dress, I got excited because it was literally the first thing she had told me about the wedding. I actually didn't even know the guy she was marrying. So when she said that she needed to discuss the dress, I didn't know what to think. I laughed awkwardly and said, "Talk to me about it. Why? I really don't have much input for you." "Oh, I am not asking for input. I need you to pay for my dress." "What? You want me to pay for it?" "Yeah, why not, Heather? You're going to give her a wedding gift, right? You can just get her the dress." "Yes, I was going to get her a gift, but I guess I can also pay for the dress if it's within my budget." "How much is it?" "Well, with the price of tie dress alternations and extra fees, it comes to only $15,000. I literally did a double take when Cherry said that her dress was $15,000. I don't know about you guys, but that is a lot of money. Maybe it is peanuts for rich people, but I am not that rich. I am plain middle class. Spending that much money on a dress is ridiculous, in my opinion. I literally looked at her with wide eyes and said, "What, $15,000? That's a lot of money for a dress." "Well, it's one of a kind, and with all the fees, it came up to that number. It's totally worth it, though." I don't know about that, Cherry. "What do you mean, Heather? I don't have that kind of money to spare. It's too much for me." Right at this moment, Cherry and Lena stopped being nice to me. Their faces fell, and then they started to look very angry. I knew that I was up for a fight because they weren't looking too pleased with my answer. Cherry angrily said, "What do you mean it is too much? It's not a lot. You can easily pay for it. I have bills to pay and a house mortgage, Cherry. Plus, I am in a single income household now. I can't spare that much money." So you're saying that you won't pay for my dress? You can choose one that's less expensive. I can pay $6,000 at most. I am sure you will find some great dresses in that price range. How dare you, Heather? Are you saying that my daughter needs to settle for a cheap dress? I don't think a dress worth $6,000 is cheap, Lena. My wedding dress was only $2,000 and it looked great. Ew, Heather, your dress was cheap and looked horrible. I don't have inferior taste like you. I want that $15,000 dress, and you will be paying for it. There was a big fight after this with those two shouting at me. Cherry was super stubborn and entitled. She kept demanding that I pay for her dress while her mother encouraged her. The duo pressured me and emotionally blackmailed me by saying that my husband would have helped them if he was alive. They knew that using my husband's name would make me weak, but the money was simply too much for me. I also didn't like their entitlement. They were never nice to me, but suddenly they were comfortable enough to ask me for 15 grand. This was just ridiculous. So I told them that I wouldn't be paying so much money. Cherry and Lena left the house that day, but kept pressuring me constantly. They tried all sorts of blackmail, which affected my already fragile mental health. I was holding strong and refused to budge. But things took a turn for the worse when it was time for my daughter's birthday. It was only 10 days later, and I was dreading calling Lena and Cherry to invite them. But I did so anyway, because my daughter was expecting them. So I called them and said, "So you are coming to my daughter's birthday party, right?" "Actually, no, we won't be coming to your daughter's birthday party." "Why? What's the matter? Do you guys have plans?" "No, we don't have plans. We just won't be coming to the party because of you." "Because of me? Why? What did I do? Need I remind you what you did to my poor daughter?" I was pretty shocked when Lena said that. I immediately knew what this drama was about, but I had a hard time accepting that Lena was ready to break my poor child's heart just because of a dress. I was stunned and a little angry. I said, "Are you saying that you won't come to my daughter's birthday because I refused to shell out $15,000 for Cherry's dress?" "Yes, that's exactly what I am saying." "What's the point of keeping you and your daughter in the family when you are going to be so jealous? You can't be serious, Lena. Are you really going to hurt a child's feelings because your grown-up daughter has to compromise on a wedding dress? This is ridiculous." "Well, you are concerned about your child and I am concerned about mine. You never should have been so selfish in the first place. Families don't treat each other this way." Lena and Cherry were not joking. They were seriously saying that they would boycott my child's wedding because of a grudge they held. I was appalled by their actions, but also didn't know what to do. If it was my event, I would have let things be. But this was about my poor daughter. Her birthday would be particularly hard because it was the first one after she lost her father. My poor child was already miserable, and having Lena and Cherry at the party would mean a lot to her. If they didn't show up, she would think that they abandoned her. My child needed all the love and support she could get, and having her late father's family there was really important. So, thinking about my daughter, I tried to reason with them. I called them back a day before her birthday and said, "My child will be heartbroken, guys. Don't do this. Please, I am begging you." Begging me wouldn't solve this issue. Now, would it? Heather, "Yeah, I am still without a wedding dress and can't spare the money." Your begging won't make my problems go away. How can you be heartless towards a child? My daughter is already miserable without her father. It's the first birthday she is celebrating after my husband died. She really needs your love and support right now. Well, we are heartbroken too, Heather. I know that my son is heartbroken too because you have been treating his family really badly. I was immediately sad and angry when they mentioned my dead husband. They had been using my late husband as a bargaining chip ever since they died. I had allowed it because I felt guilty for saying no to his family when he wasn't around to help them. but they had been taking advantage of my poor mental state and trying to emotionally blackmail me into doing what they wanted. I was so heartbroken and stressed that I almost yelled out as I said, "Why are you dragging my dead husband in this, Lena? You know how much it hurts to hear that. This is all your fault. Because of you, none of us are happy. I hope you are happy that your daughter will be miserable on her birthday. Guys, please don't do this. Think about my child. What will she think? She will think that you don't want her anymore. We will be sure to tell her that you are responsible for this. I wonder how disappointed she would be in you. You have already disappointed us and your late husband. Now you will disappoint your daughter too. Fine, if the dress is going to make this all go away, I will give you the money. I will pay for the wedding dress, but please just come to the party." I had to resign to my fate. I knew that I wouldn't get out of paying for Cherry's dress. They had effectively forced me into giving them the money for the dress by blackmailing me. I had to do it for my poor child. I had my self-respect, but my child was more important than that. Giving out $15,000 was not a joke, but I did it anyway. I had been too mentally drained by Lena and Cherry's horrible behavior. I didn't want my child to suffer more because of me, so I gave in to their manipulations and agreed to give Cherry the money. I transferred the money that very day. I was desperate, guys. I know that a lot of you may judge me for being weak, but I was really running out of options. I would have done anything to make my daughter's life a little easier. Seeing her happy was a bigger priority than saving money or arguing with Lena and Cherry. So I got the problem out of the way to make sure they showed up for my child's party. However, what I hadn't realized was that all my efforts were in vain. Cherry and Lena were going to break my and my daughter's heart anyway. Well, at least they showed up to the party the next day. After a month, I saw Lena and Cherry at a restaurant. It wasn't planned. They didn't make plans with me because they didn't like hanging out with me anymore. It was a good thing that I ran into them because I had a question for them. As we exchanged pleasantries, I said, Cherry, I just wanted to know something. Have you sent out the wedding invites? Yes, I have already sent them out. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't get one. I guess there was some problem with the mail. I will go and check at the office. Why would you do that? I need your invitation. It will make it easier for me to remember the date and venue, among other things. Plus, I feel a little uncomfortable arriving without an invite. Cherry and Lena exchanged a look as I said this. Then they burst out laughing. They were laughing so hard that a few people started to look at us. I was both embarrassed and confused by their reaction. So I didn't know what to do or say. I kind of just froze and waited for them to reply. But I wasn't expecting what they said to me. They said, "Oh God, Heather, you are so funny. What's so funny about what I said? Why are you thinking about attending my wedding? I never even sent you an invite. You are not invited. So there is no mail waiting for you anywhere." Wait, what? I don't understand. Why am I not invited? Seriously, Heather, did you really expect to be invited? God, the audacity of some people. I already told you that this is a close family event. I don't want random people at my wedding. Yeah, clowns like you have no place at my daughter's wedding anyway. I am pretty sure that you will feel out of place. Am I right, Cherry? Cherry and Lena continued to laugh about it as my sister-in-law confirmed what her mother said. I just stood there, frozen, with my mouth hanging open in shock. I had been preparing for the wedding for more than a year. I was even made to shell out $15,000 to pay for Cherry's wedding dress. But now I was told that I won't be invited to the wedding. It went without saying that my child wasn't invited to the wedding either. She was super excited for the event, and only I knew how crushed she would be when I told her the news. I was feeling horrible because my in-laws were treating me like trash and even calling me a clown. I felt like I was slapped in the face and humiliated beyond belief. I didn't argue with Cherry and Lena that day. I simply took my pride and walked out of the restaurant. I went to my car and cried my eyes out while the two had a nice dinner. I am pretty sure they insulted me and made fun of me while they were at it. I didn't want to yell at them and make myself look pathetic. I wasn't going to give them that satisfaction, so I shut my mouth there and broke down in the car when no one was around. I was missing my husband terribly because he had always been by my side and stood up for me when his family would insult me. If he was alive, Cherry and Lena wouldn't have dared to do what they did to me. I had no one to defend me and my daughter anymore. I was all alone. But that didn't mean I was going to sit back and let people get away with their horrible behavior. I drove back to my place and contemplated how I was going to break the news to my poor little daughter. She had been super excited about the wedding and even had her dress ready. Her father and I had taken her to a boutique to get her dress after we received Cherry's wedding date. Back then, we were told that we would be invited. It was a given since my husband was still alive. Cherry and Lena knew better than to exclude me or my child. But now that my husband was gone, Cherry and Lena didn't see any reason to invite me and my child. It's funny, though, that they had no problem forcing me to pay $15,000 for a wedding that I wasn't even invited to. You can only imagine what a horrible time I had next. It broke my heart to tell my daughter what was going on. She was a mess and cried a lot. I had to put us both in therapy because all our mental health issues were getting worse. Through therapy, I realized that I needed to rip off the Band-Aid and cut off Cherry and Lena from our lives. My daughter had already been hurt, so I couldn't trust them to come around for her. I wasn't going to give them another chance to hurt her or blackmail me. So I worked with a therapist to make sure my daughter accepted that Cherry and Lena won't be in our lives anymore. We stopped talking to them completely, even though Cherry and Lena often sent us snarky texts and pictures of the wedding arrangements. This was something that backfired against them later. On the day of the wedding, I had taken my daughter out to my friend's house. She was very sad, so I thought that a playmate with my friend's daughter would make her happy. When they were busy playing, I got an unexpected call from my mother-in-law. I was super annoyed, but also curious about why she was calling me. So I picked and said, "Why on earth are you calling me, Lena? Wow, chill out a little, will you? Heather, here I thought I was doing you a favor by calling. How is this call going to do me any good? You sent $15,000 on Cherry's dress." Do you want to see how it turned out? No, I am not interested. I didn't get to attend the wedding and have been told that I am not family. I don't see why you think I would be interested. Oh, come in now, Heather. Don't be so bitter and jealous. Cherry's wedding has come together like a dream. People are talking about it so much. She is almost ready and will be walking down the aisle soon. Again, Lena, I don't care. Just leave me out of it. You and Cherry broke my and my daughter's hearts enough already. There is no need to rub salt in our wounds. You know what, Heather? I will send you some pics to show you how beautiful everything is. Maybe that will help you feel a little less bitter. Lena said that and hung up before I could say something else. I was absolutely disgusted by both her and her daughter's behavior. Oh yes, she was on this stupid call too. How do I know it? She was laughing and giggling in the background and agreeing with Lena at times. It was just a horrible experience for me. In the 3 months that passed between our last conversation and this one, I discovered a lot of things about both Cherry and Lena. I also understood that they were downright nasty people. So me and my family were better off without them. But I was also looking to get some kind of revenge from them after losing money and my sanity to them. That opportunity presented itself to me when Lena sent me pictures of her daughter's wedding. Lena wasn't joking when she said that the wedding was grand. She did send pictures to spite me and make me feel jealous. There were several pictures of her and the wedding venue. She also sent me a picture of Cherry wearing the $15,000 wedding she forced out of me. She was flipping me the bird in the picture. As much as I was disgusted with their behavior, my eyes stuck to one person in those photos. There was a woman who I recognized right away. From what it looked like, she was an important part of the wedding party. That woman was Monica, who happened to be a close coworker of mine. It then dawned on me that Monica was Cherry's soon-to-be sister-in-law. Cherry was marrying her brother. I had no idea who Cherry's fiance was because she never bothered to include me when she introduced him. So I didn't make the connection until I saw Monica in the pictures. When I did, I knew that I couldn't keep Charity's secret anymore. I called Monica up immediately and asked to talk to her. She seemed a little annoyed, and rightfully so, because I was interrupting her at her brother's wedding. So when she picked up the call, I immediately apologized and said, "I am so sorry for calling you like this, Monica. I know you are busy at your brother's wedding." "Yeah, I am kind of busy, but I can spare a few minutes. Is it something important?" "Yes, this is something really important, Monica. I apologize for not calling sooner. I had no idea that your brother was marrying Cherry." "Oh, you know Cherry? I had no idea." "Yes, she is actually my sister-in-law. She is my late husband's sister." "Oh my God, really? I didn't know this. Why didn't you come to the wedding?" I went on to explain to Monica what had happened. She listened to me carefully and was pretty alarmed by what she heard. Monica and I were actually really close, so she knew that I was a good person and I didn't deserve this horrible treatment. After hearing the whole thing, she actually sounded shocked as she said, "Oh my God, this is horrible. I didn't know Cherry was such a horrible woman. The woman always gave me bad vibes, but my brother seemed to sing praises of her all the time." "She is like that, Monica. I guess she was faking her behavior so that your brother doesn't leave her." I wish I had heard this sooner. Heather, I feel so bad. I am also worried about my brother. I don't know what to do. Cherry doesn't seem like a good person. "No, she is not a good person, Monica, and neither is her mother, Lena, unfortunately. I made the call to give you some worse news." "Wait, what?" "Do you know something that I don't?" "Yeah, I am sorry to say this, but Cherry has been cheating on your brother with her ex. Lena knew this and covered for her. I have all the proof, and I can send it to you if you want." Monica immediately told me to send her all the proof because she needed to confirm everything as soon as possible. I sent her the proof I had. "You must be wondering how I found out about Cherry's affair. Well, it was a pure stroke of luck. One day when I was out shopping, I spotted Cherry kissing her ex in a mall parking lot. I decided to follow them and saw that they were going to see Lena at a restaurant. The three of them had a great meal and then went their separate ways. Cherry and her ex even indulged in some shameless PDA right in front of Lena. That's how I knew that Lena was aware and helping Cherry hide her affair. I had the presence of mind to snap some pictures and keep them with me just in case. The only reason I wasn't able to use them was because I didn't know who Cherry's fiance was. Monica and her family are good people. Cherry probably knew that her fiance and his family wouldn't be supportive of what she did to me. Maybe that's why she always kept them away from me so that she could play the part of a good woman in front of them. But karma didn't allow that to happen. God presented me with an amazing opportunity, and I seized it immediately. I made her facade come crumbling. Those pictures made it possible for me to get the best revenge I could have ever gotten. Monica saw those pictures and called me back to thank me. She then said that she needed to make some arrangements and that she would talk to me later. Within the next 20 minutes, I got a call from Cherry, which I picked up immediately. I knew that she would be mad, and just like I had expected, she was screaming into her phone while crying hysterically. She said, "You little witch, what have you done?" "I don't know what you mean, Cherry." You destroyed my wedding. You did this on purpose. You were so jealous of my perfect life that you decided to ruin my wedding. But I am not even at your wedding, Cherry. Remember? You didn't invite me. I know you are bitter about that. I know that's why you leaked those pictures of me and poisoned my sister-in-law against me. Because of you, my wedding has been called off. I started to laugh when I heard Cherry's words. The fiasco had resulted in Cherry's wedding getting canceled. While some people would sympathize with her, I felt nothing but delight. Cherry's fiance had dodged a bullet while my dear sister-in-law was getting her just desserts. This is exactly what she deserved. She cried and cried while I laughed. This made her and her mother even angrier. They said, "What on earth? Are you seriously laughing at my daughter's misery?" "What else will I do? Lena, your daughter is getting her karma." It's sure amusing to see her wedding getting canceled after you two technically blackmailed me into giving up a lot of money. Serves her right. How dare you laugh at me, Heather? This is not okay. You ruined my life. Pretty sure you ruined your own life, dear sister-in-law. If this wedding was so important to you, maybe you shouldn't have cheated on your fiancé and manipulated people into funding your wedding. This isn't the end, Heather. I will retaliate. I will make sure you are never welcome into the family again. Oh, please, Lena. I have no interest in being your family after what you did to me, so good luck with that. No, you don't get to run away from this mess. You are going to tell Cherry's fiance that you made this all up. You will help her get him back. I just laughed while Lena and Cherry told me that I should make the wedding happen again. I didn't even bother replying to that. I just told them to enjoy their karma and cut the call. They called me a few more times, but I never picked up. So I got confirmation from Monica that the wedding was off. Her brother also called me and thanked me for saving him before Cherry ruined his life. The whole family was relieved that the wedding didn't happen. Cherry and Lena, on the other hand, were pretty angry at me. They even showed up to my house and started to scream about how I ruined their lives. One thing to note here is that the extended family never knew what they did to me. They were all told that I was too depressed to attend the wedding after my husband's passing. All of them had bought this story until Monica told them the truth. It was a huge mess, with everyone shouting at Cherry and Lena while they tried hard to defend themselves. They failed miserably, of course. The extended family then decided to boycott those two and reached out to me with sympathy and support. As the days passed, Cherry and Lena tried to get back into my good graces. They had been cut off by the family since everyone was angry at them. They thought that if I could forgive them, the extended family would forgive them too. You can be sure that I had shut the door on their faces every time they showed up. Eventually, I blocked their contacts and removed them from my social media as well. They tried reaching out a few more times before they realized that nothing would help them. Then I sat back and relaxed while Cherry and Lena had a major falling out. Lena had wiped out almost all of her savings for the wedding. Since Cherry and her partner were no longer together, she became Lena's financial problem. This caused a strain between them as they blamed each other for what happened. Lena blamed Cherry for the cheating, while Cherry yelled at her about not stopping her from getting with her ex. The ex was no longer contacting her, so there's that. It looks like the wedding disaster put a strain on their relationship, and the two have been constantly at each other's throats. They had teamed up to bully me, but now they may not be on speaking terms anymore. That gives me so much joy. As for me and my daughter, we are still picking up pieces of our lives after my husband's death. I am thankful for therapy because it is helping us cope better and get back to normal life. We still miss my husband deeply, but we are getting by. Please keep us in your prayers so that we can overcome our grief and get to live the life that my husband couldn't.